Hey y'all, welcome back to Spirited Outdoors. I told y'all the other day in a video about when I opened my Bible up that I was thinking about recovering a Bible. Before I start, this is not a tutorial on how to cover a Bible, okay? This is an old boy in a shop down here in the backwoods that's going to see if he can recover his Bible. I've got it clamped here in a board, and I did that just to hold this text block in place. I've already cut all the excess off of it. I would show you the cover. Here it is. That I previously did, which wasn't bad, but I used wood glue, and it made it real stiff, y'all. I mean, like a hardback, which was not a problem for that part of it. I could put this back on it and be fine. I just think I can do a better job. The problem was the spine got really stiff, the glue that I put on it, so it didn't want to open and close. So what I done, ordered me some glue. I ordered this on Amazon. I'll put a link to it if you want to order it. It wasn't that much, but it is supposed to stay flexible. It is ideal for book binding and paper projects. So that is why I went ahead and ordered this. Now, y'all, I don't know where I'm going to do what. I have already cut some of my pieces, measured them out, and it was on a roll of some paper that I had, like just roll of brown paper. Now, this is a whole lot thinner than what this is. So I'm going to use this for my end pages and the one to go across my spine. Now, I did make me, and there's a name for this. I looked it up when I was looking at the videos. But you take a piece of paper and you fold it you fold it twice, and you got 3 layers of it. And you glue 2 of them together, and it makes an open spine. You'll glue this to the back of this Bible. And that way, when you open it, it'll open up. Now, I have ribbon material. I'm going to do away with this old ribbon that was in here. I don't have any more of the bands to put at the top and the bottom. There's ways to make that out of some fabric, or you can order them authentically. If I was going to really consider doing it, I would take a piece of string and put it across a piece of fabric and lace it with different colored thread. I don't have time for all that, okay? To really make this a nice and artwork and time consuming. I've got this text block, and I just want to recover it because, y'all, this Bible is special to me. My mom and dad gave me this Bible when I was a young man. Around the time that I first really had an experience with the Holy Ghost, we were having a revival, and I remember getting this and somewhat feeling something in my spirit, and that was when my love for the Lord and things began to take root in my life. Now, yes, I walked away from it for a long time, but that Bible is very old. I got it when I was like 6 or 7, 8 years old. I don't remember. So it's very special to me, that Bible is. So I just want to save it. And what I am going to cover it with, I've got some of my tools out that I'm going to use. I have some buckskin that I tanned, y'all. This is soft. It is not perfect buckskin. It has some flaws. I did not get the membrane completely off of it. This is one of the first ones that I had tanned. And y'all, my phone's notifying me that it's about to die. It's been sitting out here playing a book all day and me playing on social media. So anyway, first thing we got to do is get this out of here. Well, really, I need to bind a piece on the back of here first. Ideally, you use something like cheesecloth, so let me get a piece of something that we can glue on here that will initially be what holds this text block together. All right, what I got right here is a piece of gauze. This is not the ideal type of gauze. This is a little more solid. I started to use a coffee filter, but this just happened to be the piece of gauze that I had that I could put my hands on, so I'm going to use it. That's the way I do things. So if that bothers you, you'll get over it. Short coffee can, just to put under that to hold that flat for me right there. Now I'm going to do this. Ooh, and I got a little heavy on it, I believe. That's what happens when you kind of just go at stuff, you know. So what I'm going to do right now is brush this and try to not let it get... Let me calm down. I'm getting in one of them big flying rush deals to where... So I'm just brushing it a little lightly on the sides over here. I want that to wrap around. I want it to bite, I call it. I want it to grip good on the sides. This gauze is mainly going to be what holds this text block together for me, because it is in rough shape, y'all. It's an old Bible, and it hadn't been took good care of. I mean, you got to think this was handed to a kid. I wrote in it. But y'all, in this Bible, there are thoughts of a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old me. I look back and I see where things that I feel like God shared with me at a young age, and they're all in this book right here. And I kind of want this to get back to the book that I read in the mornings. I've got that blue Bible that I found in some books, and I like it. It is a really easy to read. It's just simple and plain, not a whole lot of extra frill stuff. It's small, I can tote it. But I'm wanting one that I can take to the deer stand, and you know what I mean. And I want it to be of good enough quality. That one, that blue one, is not really good quality. I changed my mind, y'all. Before I glue that completely down, I am going to, let's see. We're going to put an orange ribbon on here because this is going to be an outdoor. Okay, y'all, I cut me a piece of ribbon. I thought I was filming this, but I wouldn't. And I just tucked it right under there and glued that down, okay? I got to re-separate this because in the process of me fumbling around with it and talking to y'all, and then y'all wasn't even listening. I got too much footage on my phone. It said the storage is full, and what it was, when I deleted a bunch of stuff, it was still in that where you can go recover it. You have to go in there and delete it all out of there, or either else it's still on your phone for 30 days. So that's what I had to go get rid of that mess before I could keep recording, y'all. I'm making too many movies and videos for y'all. Too much content. I'm going to wash this off. But anyway, that's just a piece of ribbon. I've got a bunch of ribbon. This is some that I bought. I put 3 of these in my new big Bible. And what I did is I cut a business card, and I cut 3 slots, like one here, and then one in the middle down below them. And you cut it just wide enough for this ribbon to go through that. You poke it through and fold it back up and glue it. And so it goes through, folds through, and goes up and then goes back over. And you can just slide it down in the spine of that Bible. That way, if something ever happens and you want to take them out, you can just slide them back up out of there. They'll stay in there for what I'm doing. So I bought that ribbon, but I got all this other ribbon. My wife, when she was tying hair bows, and then she got out of that, so we just had a big box of ribbon, and I went through and got what I wanted to work on Bibles with, so that's how I got all that. I got my squares out, and I don't know about my length, so I'm going to just cut this kind of roughly. And I have tried to somewhat get it square, so I'm squaring off of this edge, and this is roughly both sides of the Bible. So as you cutting this, it stretches a little bit, so it'll have to be trimmed after I glue all of this together. And I want a little overlap, and so I'm gonna cut. This is obviously gonna be a good bit longer than what I need, but I can always trim it off. Follow what I'm telling you here, hand. I just want to make sure it's generally square. So I'm just cutting it with a razor blade. You can see where I experimented with some dye that I had. So if I decide I wanted to color it, there was some rough spots over here. So anyway, I'm probably going to take a knife, and I might as well do that now while I got it here. And cut some of this excess stuff off. I can still make junk out of that. Now I have got another piece that's nice right here that I may use this. If this turns out good, we're going to use this piece here, and I'm going to recover my other big Nelson. So just keeping you a little updated on where we at, what we're doing here. What I think I am going to do at this point today is leave this alone, and I'm going to leave this sitting here like this overnight. Make sure you close your glue up so it don't all dry out. And make sure this part here dries really good, and see what I've got in the morning. And then I can come over here with my pieces of paper in the morning and fit it and trim that down to fit this text block and see where we go from there. So I'll be back with a fresh change of clothes on in the morning and a fresh cup of coffee. I told you I'd be back with a cup of coffee. Y'all know, it's funny, I'm drinking out of a coffee cup made by another potter. This is by Alewind Pottery up in Gatlinburg. Y'all, they make some beautiful pottery and got a really cool shop. If you're ever in Gatlinburg, back on Craftsman's Road, you need to go check that out. I'm going to set that down right over there. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to break this apart and see what I have got right here. Oh, tried to glue to my board there, didn't it? All right. So, you see how now this text block is loose and I can use it. The pages are all still in it. So, I'm happy with that. And that ribbon is a little long, but y'all, I can easily cut that off later. So turn you around over here to show you what I'm gonna do. All right, so obviously I've got a little more leather than I need. Now I'm intending for this to look like a rough, crude, old Bible. That's the look I'm going for. It will stiffen that up just a little bit when I glue this to it. So first things first, let's see if we can get the curling out of this. Oh, we did all right. That's an old Indian trick I learned. I say that a lot. Y'all don't take offense that when I say Indian trick. That just means that's an intelligent thing I learned to do. It's not A lot of people won't think that you mean that derogatory, but it's really a compliment in my opinion, or my intentions anyway. So it's thus an Indian trick. It means you figured something smart out. So anyway, I just thought I'd say that before somebody jumps to conclusion. You know how people like to cancel you off of ignorance. Because they don't know no better, they won't feel like you don't know no better. All right. Now this is meant to be almost precise, and it ain't quite working out that way. But that's all right, because I'm an amateur, right? I was afraid that it was going to be too big. I probably should have cut me a little more off. So what you do right here, and what I am attempting to do, this is going to glue down to my leather. So I'm marking this. I want to put some raised spine on the back. So I'm marking my corners. Just so that I know where they are going to be. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put the creases in there so that okay. All right. Right here, I'm going to cut me a couple of pieces of leather. Let me find some scrap leather. I cut me a piece off of here. And y'all, it don't really have to be leather. It just has to be something solid. And I've got tools scattered everywhere. It just has to be something solid that you can use for this. Ruler on that. We're looking for like 1.25 inches. So you want to cut you a little piece, however wide you want your bands to be. And I don't want them too wide. And I want 1, 2. I don't know if I want 4 or 5. I'm gonna cut 5, and then we're gonna just see what we wind up with, what it looks like. We'll what you call play it by ear. So let me get these cut. Okay, on these, I measured my 1.25 inches, and I've done cut one end the way I want. And then I took my knife and I kind of scored right where I want it to end. Be careful, don't cut your thumb, which I probably will do on. But you want to cut this at an angle. And I know you probably can't tell really what I'm doing. But what I'm doing is making it to where it's not a squared off edge. There. You see how I cut that down to, so. I'm going to do that to all of them. Okay, so what I've done is just opened my glue up. I can dip my brush down right in the top of that. And I'm just going to brush this. And I'm going to start with the top, and I'm going to come up about, I don't know, 1/4 inch maybe. I'm going to do the top and bottom, and then I'm going to evenly measure between them to put my other 3. I decided I was gonna put 5. Okay, I've got these raised spines where I want them. I want to round these corners of this paper off because I'm going to glue it into here really, really, really good. So I'm going to get a small pair of scissors and probably do this the wrong way. I just want to round them off. Now, I am not expecting y'all a professional $300 Bible quality job on this. This is kind of the way I do everything. It's just the pleasure of knowing I did it myself. And I'm trying to do a decent job, but I'm not over expecting, in other words. I'm not just trying to make a mess out of it. You got to believe you can do pretty decent, but I didn't want you to think that I thought, man, it was going to be as good as what somebody else, bought a $300 hand-covered Bible and hand rebound, whatever you call it. And then I get through and it looked like Ned in the first reader. All right. I don't know if I should put the glue on that. I think I'm going to glue all of this and then place it on there. That's going to be my way of doing it, okay? That might not be the best way. And I would probably have come out ahead to squirt the glue on here than dipping all of that. So let's do that. And you want glue all on that good now. All right. I don't know that I really have a top or bottom per se. I don't need to get that in that glue, do I? That'll dry. Oh, it'll come right off. Roll that right quick and get that out of my way. Yeah. All right. That way it don't stick to my leather. Okay. We're going to somewhat attempt. This is one of my pottery tools. And I am going to work around these ribs by holding them in place. And see how I'm working that down in there? I'm gonna work these edges real good. I want to try to make sure everything that will stick is stuck down to that paper. I'm gonna keep working this, but you can see what I'm coming up with here. I've got a clean sponge and I'm gonna dampen this just to see if it helps. It should. Working, my experience with leather working, dampness helps. Y'all, I've never covered no Bible before. Not tried to really cover it. I glued that stuff together that last time, and I didn't really try to make it nice. Well, this is just a piece that I made, just so you see what I'm working with here. And I'm just working in these wrinkles. Now, if I had a better piece of leather, a lot of this that I'm doing right now wouldn't be necessary. So if you get on Tandy Leather and order what you're working with, you're probably not going to be fighting what I'm fighting at the present moment. Okay, I've got my text box clamped in here. My tube spine is glued on. On each side is simply a piece of this brown paper that is folded in half on either side to make a front and end page. I've got this that I am fixing to glue right here to hold this together, okay? That way I can glue to that back side and to this side to glue it into my leather piece, to my leather cover here. It'll wrap around, so it gives me something to glue to, and this prevents the glue from going in that crack and getting inside anything else that I don't, need extra glue into. Cause I know y'all want to see it brushed on there. Make sure I ain't lying to you about something. Y'all don't think I'd lie to you about what I was doing, do you? Tell y'all it worked, and if it didn't, just kind of hide it on camera and be like, oh yeah, it worked good. Like them no-till gardeners do. They like to tell you that works good, but I done tried it this year. It's more work. Them people that tell you that no-till gardening's easy and a no-work garden, they'll lie. Oh, I'm telling you. You can make no-till gardening work. You just gonna work. You're going to work it. I don't care which way you look at it. They get a bunch of stuff in their heads and think it's better, but I can't. The Bible told me to plow the fallow ground. Hard to go against the Bible. I don't care what you like. Make sure I get them edges good and whatnot. All right. Let that tacky up. All right, y'all. Make sure that's glued down good. For it appears to be. For it appears to be. Now I will trim my edges before I glue into the leather because I got a little bit of overhang right here on the top and bottom. I can lay that out and trim that off all good and smooth and whatnot before we do anything else. I may have to mop some of this off, which I know how to do. See how I'm wiping it up, and don't put too much glue. I always heard too much was better than not enough, but in some things that ain't the truth. All right, y'all. Y'all, I'm liking this already. I am liking the look of it. Look at that. Oh, man, y'all. I figured out the only way I can really effectively clamp this good, see which side I'm using this, is lay it on there like that. Clamp this like that. And you turn that the way I want it like that. And I have got at this point everything glued together, y'all. I have got some trimming that I'm gonna do on it. I ain't clamping that real tight because I have to, oh, it got on there. All right, now I can clamp it tight as I want to. And I'm gonna clamp it pretty tight. Oh. Man, y'all, I am very pleased. I am probably going to wood burn Holy Bible in this somewhere. Yeah. A little bitty wood burning thing. I should have probably done it in the leather beforehand. Had I been experienced and knew a way to make sure I had everything centered and like I wanted it, I might have done that. And I may not. I don't know. It's one of them things I just kind of, I would like to put Holy Bible on there, maybe a KJV, but I don't want to make a mess out of it, so I may just leave it alone. Sometimes you're better off to quit while you're ahead. But I got this glued in here. We're going to let it dry probably most of the day, and I'm going to leave this alone. Late this afternoon, I'm going to take it out of here, and we're going to trim the edges up, see what we got. Okay, y'all. I've got a little more probably hollow than I like, but I'm okay with it. Y'all, look at this. This is like, I mean, this is what it's supposed to do. So I have done very well on this, in my opinion. See, this is the inside. It is, now that looks like it is starting to peel, so I'll probably touch this stuff up with glue after I trim it. So what I'm gonna do right now is trim this off the way I want it. And I'm gonna keep a good border around, and then I'm gonna curve the edges. So let's go for it. Now you want to make sure when you cutting like this that you hold down firmly or it'll slide just a little bit. All right, and see I wound up with that much cut off. Now I'm gonna just kind of do this by hand on these corners. Like I said, y'all, I ain't expecting perfect, but I don't want to slop neither. So, okay, hold that down firmly and make sure when you cut that you angle that blade a little toward that. And that's the reason I'm using metal. If I was using a wood stick, it digs into it. All right. So you get that cut off, and then you and they make a curved thing that you can hit, and I've got some gouge like for spoon making curved wood chisels that I could have probably cut that corner right there with and made them all perfect. So the one thing I'm going to do is right here, right now, where that is not glued as good as I like it, I'm going to touch that glue up and then lay a board on it. I know y'all like when I talk when I walk away, so that's why I do that. I'm just going to dip my brush down in there. The other page over there did good. I don't know why this one didn't take as well, but that's all right. If adding glue's the only problem we got, we can handle that. You can rub that on something, it don't matter. Not to me. Best way to do that. All right. That could have been done a little different, but at the stage I was at, I didn't have nothing to save this page. I could have took it out and put a different page, but I wrote that when I was a little bitty kid, 1987. But see, that is solid. This is gonna hold up pretty well. Let me split this back open. And I never even looked, y'all. This is World Bible Publishers. Well, y'all, I'm going to have to say that I am very pleased. For an amateur, I am not a professional bookbinder. But watching some YouTube videos, a little bit of instruction, I like I am a huge fan of these spines on the back, and I wanted to see if I could do that. So with how this one turned out, I'm probably going to use another piece of the leather that I have and recover my big Nelson. So the text block and it's kind of part, I wanted to save that book. And now I'm gonna tell y'all, the folding all this over and making it look professional is good, but I like this rustic, rough look because it fits my character and my personality, and it's just a style that I like. I know you would think, oh, that's just because you can't do any better, but I am a fan of this. This is a hide that I tanned. I did it all myself. That means a lot in this Bible. This will probably go back to replacing the little blue Bible that I set out on my porch and read every day. I don't know. I may finish the Bible out in the book, that blue one, and then start over and read this one. But it is a good handy size, and it's an old Bible, and it's special to me. And it's already got some markings in it, so I wouldn't hesitate to highlight some more stuff in this one. But I'm not a fan of marking in a bunch of Bibles, y'all. I like to read them, and if I need my notes and markings, I like to consolidate that to one Bible. And this one already has some markings and highlightings over the times when I was a kid. But I am very pleased with this. So thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a good one. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all.